Hello there and welcome. I want to begin by congratulating you for burying yourself in these 6 minutes. But I also want to suggest that you get some of your friends involved. It'll be a passive little income for you. It may not be the biggest, but you could make it big. There are people earning thousands of dollars a month on this. But it's about learning. Do you know, in 1970, I was at the Human Resource Congress in Chicago. Eric Hoffer was receiving the Human Resource Award. Yet he said something that I'll never forget. He just burned it into my mind. He said, in times of change, the learners will inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. Now, do you know, I've thought about that many, many times. Eric Hoffer was a phenomenal author. He wrote a little book called The True Believer. You might want to get it. Eric Hoffer, The True Believer. Just a tiny little book. It's got a ton of stuff in it. He said, in times of change, the learners will inherit the earth. I took that to be metaphorical for that we would be happy, healthy, and prosperous. Because you see, when we learn, we're pulling the best of ourselves to the surface. We're bringing more of who we really are to the party. Where he said the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. Well, you see, there is no such thing as a learned person. There's no such thing as an educated person. You're either learning or you're not. Hoffer understood that. Education comes from the Latin educo, meaning to educe, to develop, or to draw from within. That's what 6 minutes is designed to do, to help you draw from what's within. See, you're really loaded with power. Now let's think of it. He said, in times of change, I don't think anyone's ever lived in greater change than you and I are facing today. In times of change, the learners will inherit the earth, will be happy, healthy, and prosperous, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. Let me share this with you. I want you to make a commitment right now. As long as Bob Proctor will make these, I'm going to listen to them. Just make that a commitment. As long as Bob will make these, I'm going to listen to them every morning. Oh, and by the way, you might want to go to Life Success TV. There is a ton of good stuff there. LifeSuccessTV.com. Go back and think what Eric Hoffer said. In times of change, the learners will inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. There's a lot of people out there. Degrees coming off the end of their business card, and they're saying, what happened? We know what's happening because we're a part of making it happen. We're learning. Think about what I've just said for 4 or 5 minutes. Then go share it with someone. Get them on 6 minutes. Brainstorm the ideas together for a few minutes after the call. Good way to do it.